The stolen samurai was probably referring to Makuro. So, hey everybody again, this is some more Danganronpa. Hopefully I can finish this. I don't know quite how long it is, but I hope I can finish it within the next couple hours or so. So yeah, this is the narrator speaking in regards to I don't know who, because we don't really have a perspective here, I don't think. Which means Toko already knew Makuro in advance. Okay. Confronted by that shocking truth, the students had no idea where to begin talking. So many things were clearly wrong by this point. So yeah, Toko already knew Makuro. Or at least, Genocide knew Makuro. Which is interesting to think about. Okay. But there were a few students, such as Byakuya and Kyoko, who opted to remain calm and observe the situation.
Alright, someone better spill it. Who gave Makoto an extra mouth to feed? I don't care if you want to stab him or slice him. I just can't forgive whoever put that ugly-ass hole in Big Mac's side.
Toko, no. Genocide Jack, no. Genocide Jill, spun her scissors in her hands. As she spoke, her emotions and facial expressions constantly changed. Even without the threat of her scissors, she exuded an aura of danger that made her unapproachable. The flank stank of a young boy, like macaroons, is like a blue bird that pops out a golden egg. What? The flank steak of a young boy, like macaroons, is like a blue bird that pops out of a golden... What? If you would have just let me handle it, I would have killed him so good that even... Tiltil and Miltil would be eager to die. What? So he's saying, Makoto is attractive. I guess? Is Macaroon supposed to be Makoto? I don't even know. I guess Big Mac is short for Macaroon? Or, wait, I don't know. Even Tiltil and Miltil. The fuck is that? Oh. But poor Makiyudi's heart and soul would have been stomped on by such a sloppy kill. Okay, so every time you have Mac at the beginning, it's just... Anytime it's got Mac, it's referring to Makoto, I guess.
That actually sounds pretty exciting too. But I decline.
Toko, you're not making any sense, screamed Aoi. What in the world happened to you? Genocide Jack answered by pointing her scissors at Aoi. Why can't they just call her Jill already?
What happened to me? I got bored, that's what. That sourpuss locked me up a few days ago, but when she went unconscious, I thought I'd finally get to do my thing. But I woke up for all this? Makiyudi's soaked with blood and I've got no clue what's going on. It's so damn confusing. All I can do is laugh.
Ugh. No one seemed to be able to get a straight answer out of Jack, so Hifumi made a timid remark. I've dealt with girls like this in my 2D dating games. This doesn't even compare. It's like there's an SSS difficulty level to clear. I can't believe you even... Okay, I thought that was still Leon. I thought that was still Hifumi, damn it. Can't believe you'd be thinking about her as someone worth clearing. Mumbled Leon. It was clear that things were going nowhere. And as if she were responding to everyone else's expectations, Sakura stepped forward. She might be in the throes of confusion. I should try to restrain her for now. As soon as she heard that, Genocide Jill stopped moving, stuck out her lizard-like tongue, and grinned wickedly.
Oh, what's up? Are you really gonna fight me, Battle Ogre? Too bad, my lovely scissors are only for cutting through adorable boys. Women should just stay home. I won't take my scissors with your filthy blood.
Replied Sakura. It seems my words are useless on you. And besides, my blood is almost manly anyways. Sakura entered a fighter's stance, determined to restrain Jill, but Jill knew she couldn't win in a fair fight, and adopted a strange stance of her own. What? In a normal fight, Jack would obviously lose to the ogre, but if Jack focused just on dodging attacks, the outcome of this fight would be hard to foresee. Of course, Genocide Jill's physical abilities were only obvious to a few of the students in the first place. The two women exchanged hostile stares as the other students gulped nervously and watched. Except for one person. Kyoko was watching someone else. She was watching Monokuma, who was in the corner of the gym, unmoving, as white noise emitted from his speakers. He had stopped moving the moment everyone's attention focused on Sakura and Toka. It's possible that Madarai's hawking had been disrupted, but it's also possible there was no Hawking to begin with. Hawking? Why do I keep saying that? Stephen Hawking's! But an infinite number of other possibilities were also swirling around in Kyoko's mind. She brushed back her hair with a gloved hand, and continued to watch. Though she couldn't fully remember her talent, the actions she was taking right now were fueled by pure instinct, the detective instinct. The strange situations that kept occurring in front of her were shaking her to her very core. Her mind worked diligently to scoop up countless amounts of information from her vast sea of memories. And as they were synchronizing with the synapses firing in her brain... Oh, she might actually, not only because she's a detective, she might understand what's going on because not only, everybody lost some of their memories, but she lost all of them, so she might be able to relate more to that. Anyways. Sakura and Toko kicked off the ground at the same time, and an intense impact rang throughout the gym. And back to this place? With the blood on the floor? Is that pink blood, Makoto's? Thanks to the heated battle that was unfolding in the gymnasium, Mikuru Ikasawa was able to buy more time than she had imagined. As soon as she entered the nurse's office, she rummaged around for medical supplies and did what she could to stop the bleeding. Though still quite shallow, Makoto's breathing slowly stabilized. Mikuru let a little sigh of relief. However, even though she was somehow able to stop the bleeding, she wasn't out of the woods yet. Miraculously enough, it seemed like none of Makoto's major arteries or organs were damaged. Was this perhaps thanks to his ultimate luck? Of course. Or maybe he wasn't actually all that lucky. After all, the only sort of medical treatment he could hope for was partial at best. Mikuru couldn't decide. Decide on what? How to treat him? If only I could do a blood transfusion. With what? Your own blood? The nurse's office should have had several blood packs for transfusion. Oh, then what's the problem? Mikuru suspected that Makoto's blood type might be written in his e-handbook, but as she reached over to search his pockets... Haha? Oh. What? I see you're reaching for a sleeping boy's clothes. What in the world is about to happen? Is this, Junko / Monokuma? I see you're reaching for a sleeping boy's clothes. What in the world's about to happen next? Adults can keep playing, but you kids better press the B button, okay? There is no B button on an Xbox controller, but okay. Did I say Xbox? There is a B button on an Xbox controller. There's no B button on a PlayStation controller. God damn it. Okay, Mikuru turned toward that familiar voice and saw Monokuma standing before her. You're all alone with Makoto right now. Just think of me as a cute wild animal and let your lust lead the way. As the headmaster, I must prevent any illicit sexual relations, but physical education classes are just fine, missy. Though he looked just like the one that was at the gym, it was clearly a different Monokuma. Multiple Monokumas have been placed throughout the entire academy, so it wasn't a stretch for him to suddenly appear out of nowhere. Regardless, the same person was controlling all of them. Mikuru had been wary of Monokuma attacking her while she was treating Makoto's wounds, but his appearance at this particular moment seemed to take her by surprise. Junko? Asked Mikuru cautiously. Monokuma tilted his head, along with his entire upper body inquisitively. Junko? Who's that? Junko? I've never heard of that country before. No more junk. No more junks! Answer me, Ko. You were planning to kill me earlier, right? Junko this, Junko that. What's your problem? I'm telling you, I'm Monokuma. You must be a big disappointment if you can't even remember something like that. You're not just a disappointment as a person, you're a disappointment as a sister, too. Oh, now you're starting to get real here. Real talk. But you're the disappointing sister, Junko. Screw you. Kuro seems much better so far. You're too skinny, and your brain is nothing but muscles, and your personality is just unbearable. No, that would be you, frickin' Junko. I'm sorry, said Mikuru. No, don't apologize to her. You're better than her. She didn't need to apologize, but hearing her little sister call her disappointment yet again was enough to make the ultimate soldier recoil. Monokuma ignored her and her current situation, climbed on top of Makoto's barely breathing body, and began poking at his cheeks. That is rude. So what are you gonna do with Makoto now? I'm really interested in human matching habits, you know? What are you? Asked Makuro before trailing off. Monokuma lowered his tone and began whispering into her ear. Woo! Makoto's a pretty nice guy, huh? He even sacrificed himself to save you. He's so generous that it's actually hopeless. Woo! He's not dead yet, insisted Makuro. Despite her firm tone, she couldn't hide the fear lingering in her voice. Woo-hoo! That's the most disappointing thing about you. You can't even say, I won't let him die. I won't let him die. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was Junko joking around. I won't let him die, Junko. Okay, so this is a very interesting conversation between sisters. It's very neat. Huh. Makuro could barely get a word in as Monokuma erupted into poo-hoos and ha-has and continued to torment her. What a bitch. Junko's a bitch. As if you could do that. Too bad. No regrets. See you tomorrow. What? Wahahaha! Is this all because Makoto was the first person to smile at you? Okay, is he talking still? I can't even tell. Is this all because Makoto was the first person to smile at you? You, a disappointing, depressing, unladylike, inhuman killing machine. Despite denying that he was Junko, Monokuma began oh, okay, now it's not Monokuma anymore. God, that's confusing. Despite denying that he was Junko, Monokuma began speaking at length about Makuro's past. This contradiction was very much like Junko, and Makuro was so shaken that all she could do was watch the bear prattle on and on. Only the fit survive in this world. The only thing that kind-hearted people can do is die, you know? As proof, you're gonna watch Makoto die really soon! Woohoo! He won't die! Makuro's tone of voice had become irregular ever since she took off her Junko wig. Aside from her conversation with Makoto, everything she said as Junko was from a script that her sister had written. Wow. So only the Makoto talk was improv. Interesting. But now, there was no script for Makuro to rely on anymore, and she's got them bad social skills. I know the feels. Makuro was treating Monokuma like she would treat her own sister. If the other students saw her acting so weak, they'd never believe she was the same person who fought soccer in the gym. And not just that, if anyone from her mercenary past could see her now, her stark change in attitude might make them think she was someone else entirely. Monokuma continued to rail against Makuro. No, he's gonna die. I know it's sad, but you just have to face the facts. Monokuma wriggled his limbs and danced around, then pointed right at Makuro's face. Because Makoto is gonna die by your hands! What? Are you trying to trick her into killing him? Huh? Infighting amongst the terrorists. The big bad terrorist silences the weak-willed Makoto before he can leak any information. Doesn't that happen all the time? In the end, all the desperate things you said in the gym turned out to be lies you just told to escape. Woohoo! Makuro frowned at Monokuma. You can't do that, Junko. I won't let you do that. As she blurted out those words in a trembling voice, Makuro was gripped with confusion about what she had just said. Defying her sister? How dare she? Am I defying Junko right now? Why? It was a strange feeling. To Makuro, it was like she was standing on the edge of worry. Actually, the ledge. On the ledge of a tall building and imagining what would happen if she jumped. A destructive feeling, akin to holding a friend's baby and wondering what would happen if you tripped and fell. Before she knew it, fear and anxiety had suddenly taken control of Makuro's heart. As a member of Fenrir, as an ultimate despair, Makuro had killed innumerable people. She had handled live grenades before. She had descended from the sky in a parachute as anti-aircraft weaponry fired all around her and didn't get hit by a single one. She's awesome. Her heart never wavered on the battlefield, but now it felt like it could collapse at any second. Monokuma, however, was as stable as a tree and slightly tilted his head to the side. Oh, tilting it in the, what is it? The Sith way. The way the way Vader's master does it. God damn it! The Emperor, not Emperor. Pilaf jumped into my mind. Not Emperor Pilaf, but let's call him Pilaf because I don't remember his name. The way Pilaf tilts his head to the side and then it goes all around in circles. That's funny. Anyways, huh? Were you listening to my story? I'm not the one who's gonna kill Makoto. You are. What are you saying, Junko? Monokuma began giving a strange explanation to a very confused Makuro. Do you know what the suspension bridge effect really means? It means you push the person you love off a bridge, and they'll be yours for eternity. So what? You're saying if she kills Makoto, he'll be hers forever? That's stupid. I haven't heard that at all. Life doesn't always follow what your textbooks say. It's sad, but that's what love is. His words made no sense. They actually make a lot of sense. I hate to say it, but I've heard that before. It's really irritating to think that, like, some people think that way. It's annoying. Annoying isn't the really correct word, but whatever. Makuro couldn't think of anything to say as she stood there dumbfounded. Meanwhile, Monokuma continued his little speech, intentionally saying things meant to antagonize Makuro. Basically, this is your big chance, you know? If you kill Makoto right here and now, nobody will ever take him away from you again. Including that hoary Sayaka, or that seductive Celeste, or the mysterious Kyoko, or the big boob Dasahina. All evil targets you must prevent. Makoto Daigi, dead by dawn. The last name he ever spoke was Makuro Ikasaba. The last person he ever smiled at was Makuro Ikasaba. Doesn't that sound wonderful? There was a certain appeal to Monokuma's twisted suggestion, and Makuro found herself unsure of her own judgment. Don't do it. Don't fall for her damn despair tricks. This is wrong. It has to be wrong. But it's really Junko saying all this, so doesn't that mean it's alright? No, this isn't Junko. It's Monokuma. They're not different. Monokuma. And are you sure you want to help Makoto? Once he gets better, he's gonna know everything. He'll know what you did to your classmates. I can't believe you would actually erase your friends' memories of their time together and force them to kill each other. Makoto might get mad at you and say, our real enemy isn't the bear, it's her. Do you really want him to blame you for this? Don't let him get into your head. Makuro's face turned pale. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Or are you gonna kill the others? If everyone except you and Makoto dies, you'll be able to spend the rest of your school life together. We can't hold a class trial with only 2 people. Might be a good idea for you both to live the rest of your lives in this academy forever. And you haven't made up the rule about no killing more than 2 people yet, so... No, that's wrong. I want to be Hope Person. And what are you going to do if his memories return? Which they clearly are. It's not like you were dating Makoto or anything. You were just watching him from afar the whole time. Man, you're so shy. You can shoot people's hearts and brains no problem, but you can't even woo some stupid boy into liking you. Wow. Junko's really coming off as a bitch, and I'm starting to really understand. I mean, I knew Makuro kind of liked, I was about to say Junpei. I knew Makuro kind of liked, and then I was about to say Hajime. I knew Makuro kind of liked, Naegi, but, it's interesting to see, her, tsundere, or even yandere. I don't know, no, it's tsundere. It's just a different kind of tsundere. Yandere is when they're crazy. Interesting tsundere personality. Do you want to know who Makoto had a crush on before his memories were taken away? Woo-hoo-hoo! It was probably Sayaka, right? Or maybe even Kyoko. Or maybe Celeste. Or maybe the big boob Dasahina. Or maybe Sakura. Or maybe Byakuya. He is a man crush. Makuro trembled as Monokuma continued pressing the issue, gradually loosening the screws, keeping her heart secure. Oh shit. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the trap card. So Makuro chose to pretend she didn't hear anything at all. All emotion vanished from her face, and she looked silently from Makoto's e-handbook. Oh, you're just pretending to not hear it. You have to embrace it. You have to overcome it. That's how true hope comes, I guess. If you're looking for his blood type, it's not written in the handbook. Oh, shit. Makuro's face turned pale. Within 5 seconds, her plan to ignore Monokuma had already failed. But, since your headmaster is made up of 50% kindness, I'll tell you anyway. Well, you know, with the white and dark, I guess he would say 50% kindness, but it's probably more like 25-75. Maybe even less than 25. Makoto's blood type is B! As soon as she heard him say that, all the anxiety, horror, hostility, malice, and dread churning within Makuro had completely vanished. What, because Makuro was also B? Thank you, Junko! Wow. Well, that's sisterly love, question mark? Makuro's eyes sparkled with a hint of suspicion. She could have been lying, you know, but hey. And probably Monokuma's gonna bring up that she could have been lying. So she turned her back to Monokuma without a hint of suspicion. And walked toward the refrigerator containing the blood packs. Oh, okay, so they're labeled. So she doesn't need her own blood. Fresh blood packs should have been prepared before the plan took effect. They'll last in cold storage for 21 days. They should still be good. Despite her emotionless face, Mikuro let herself feel a small amount of satisfaction as she took a blood pack from the refrigerator. And yes, Monokuma is about to say, I could have been lying, you dumb bitch! As Monokuma watched her, his normally emotionless eyes twitched ever so slightly. Oh, you don't like how loyal she's being, is that it? If a third party could see his face right now, or even if the other students could see his face right now, they'd wonder, is Monokuma surprised? Dun dun dun. That's right, they'd have the same shocked look on their face as if they were seeing Monokuma for the first time. At that moment, a whisper crept out of Monokuma's emotionless face. There should be a limit to how disappointing you can be. It was far quieter than a mosquito's wings. Even with her battle-hardened hearing, Mikuro couldn't hear what he said. Oh, okay. I guess she's too intent on saving Makoto. Monokuma shook his head and the voice returned to normal. It's not like I care that you, the ultimate despair, has hope in anything. It's not like I expected much from you to begin with, so this will at least help me feel despair. When you realize that it's the fake blood pack? Question mark? Dun dun dun. But seriously, you disappoint me. Just so you know, despair and disappointment are completely different things, okay? They're different as bears and pandas. What are you... Kuro's body started to shake as she turned back to look at Monokuma. He hadn't started talking any differently than usual. Junko hadn't turned off the voice modulator and started talking in a real voice or anything. And yet Mikuro was utterly terrified. She was terrified on instinct. Not as a soldier. Half the reason she was terrified was because of her instincts as the ultimate despair. And the other half was because she was Junko's older sister. Even through Monokuma, her instincts were telling her that Junko was annoyed with her. Oh. Probably because Junko is like, I want the fight, I want you to fight me. She's annoyed that there's no fight, is probably what's going on. Junko? Why are you annoyed? Is it because I betrayed you? I can understand the mindset Junko's in, but it's hard to describe. Like the idea of not wanting this person to trust you so badly. Like you hate that concept. Because it's filled with hope. Trust is filled with hope. So you hate the hope, I guess. Something like that. Anyways. Or is it because I didn't die like you wanted me to? Ugh, sulked Monokuma. I'm beyond annoyed! I'm really, really angry! And I'm really, really disappointed right now! I'm so pissed I could take a rage nap right now! Oh, what? Monokuma's anger didn't seem any different from his usual anger toward the students, but Mikuro could instinctively sense another emotion mixed with it. Right now, she could feel that Junko was feeling hopeless disappointment. It's normal for someone who's disappointed to lose hope, but for ultimate despair, disappointment means something else entirely. To them, disappointment was tantamount to losing despair itself. Oh, okay. I guess you could say trust is losing despair, because it's getting hope. Mikuro was a member of Ultimate Despair. At her sister's behest, Mikuro had sullied her hands many times in order to fill the world with despair. So I'm wondering, was Mikuro just a loyal sister doing what Junko says, or is she also despair crazy? Because it seems like she's probably just a sister doing what her sister wants, knowing that her sister's crazy, knowing that what she's doing is wrong, but being okay with it. I guess? Despite her pride toward being a member of Ultimate Despair, there was a clear difference between Mikuro and her sister. Junko Enoshima was despair incarnate. She was born in despair, letting it infect other people's hope so it could rot them from the inside out, twisting them into her own image. Sometimes, literally in the case of this game's plot, as dumb as it was, for Junko, feeling hope was its own despair. That's very weird, but okay. Creating despair in others created despair in herself, which caused her to feel both intense pain and intense bliss. Yeah, it's a very weird, outlook to have on life. Junko had walked the fractured, created from the conflict between pleasure and penance all her life. Eventually, the fracture would widen until it swallowed the world and tore it in half. But Mikuro, on the other hand, had neither hope nor despair for the world. She just didn't give a shit. Except about Makoto. Aww. At least not when she was a member of Fenrir. Ever since she was a child, Makura believed she was meant to spread despair because of her sister. She didn't harbor any ill will toward the world, she simply accepted she was meant to spread despair, and chose to walk the same path as her sister. The doubt she felt was only a recent development, because she liked Makoto. When Junko told her about the plan, when she watched the world burn at the hands of terrorists wearing Monokuma masks, she never wavered once. However, as soon as she heard about her sister's plan to make their classmates kill each other, Makoto included, a strange feeling began to stir within her. What started as a seed of doubt soon grew into a thorny vine ensnaring Makuro's feet. As soon as she disguised herself as Junko and finished meeting the other students, as soon as she had confirmed that everyone's memories had been completely taken away, that vine began tightening around Makuro's heart. They're gone. Junko's the only one who knows about me now. That's it. But there's no problem. It's just like old times. Things will never go back to how they used to be, but that's fine. This should be fine. She had relinquished the past 2 years she had spent with her friends so she could betray them and deliver death and despair unto them. Though her heart ached, Makura was beyond feeling guilt or remorse for her actions. But the question, why does my heart ache like this, still remained unanswered. Perhaps that's why she spent so much time talking to Makoto while he was in the nurse's office, and when Makoto gave her that one particular answer, something changed inside her. In return, I promise that if I do decide to kill someone, it won't be you. The words Makura blurted out to Makoto weren't improvised to further her role as Junko. It was an honest sentiment from the bottom of her heart. She was even planning to ask Junko herself if Makoto could somehow be spared from her plan. Over the past 2 years, Makuro's interests had been slowly shifting away from her sister and toward the world itself, and to Makoto. By extension, her interest also included Makoto, the first person to ever smile at her and make her feel connected to the world. He was like a sapling of pure honesty that had taken root in Makuro's heart, more like a sapling of pure hope. But by the time she realized that, the tree had already rotted. As Makuro struggled to understand the situation, Monokuma let out a sigh and said, I wonder which part of you is a wolf anyway. You're just a dog that blindly follows Junko's orders. What does the tattoo on your hand even mean? Are you just a bitch who's pledged her loyalty to her owner? I bet Toko would say that. I'm positive. I wonder if you're referring to Toko or Genocide Toko. Maybe both would say it. Monokuma continued to talk as Makuro stood in confusion. Is this when he's going to say that the blood type isn't necessarily B? I was obviously lying when I said Makoto's blood type is B. Yup. What? Cried Makuro. You lied, Junko! A normal person would have been suspicious. I never thought you'd actually believe me just now. I must have misplaced my eyes because I totally did not see that coming. Not even with my ability to protect the future. How shocking. Jeez, I'm about to start crying my eyes out like some sort of robot cat, seriously. It's gonna be okay, Junko, said Makuro. Don't do it. Don't stop trying to get back into her life, Makuro. Finish yourself, Junko. Kill her. Get on with it. Get on. You can have proper life now, Makuro. Hope this doesn't end badly for Makuro. I'm starting to like her. I know our plan kind of fell apart, but I'm still on your side. Are you feeling alright? 'Cause I'll do anything. Snap! Is that Monokuma going crazy? A harsh sound came from Monokuma's mouth. That sound was one of my circuits overloading. It's been so long since I felt this angry. Meet me on the roof of the school. I'll smash out all your baby teeth. Monokuma started shadow boxing in front of Makuro, who remained frozen in place, clutching a blood plaque in her hand. So basically, Junko is challenging Makuro. She still looked confused, and Monokuma threw up his arms in frustration. You're so disappointing. I can't even predict it anymore. Arrgh! A threatening roar burst from Monokuma's mouth as he leapt at Makuro with his sharp claws extended. At that moment, her face became completely emotionless. It was not a conscious action. The defensive instincts she honed during her time with Fenrir temporarily suppressed her emotions as she countered Monokuma's attack. Makuro grabbed a nearby IV stand and used it to parry Monokuma's claws. However, Monokuma's claws seemed to be made with a special alloy and easily sliced the bar in half diagonally. But instead of following up his attack, Monokuma continued talking to Makuro. I guess you're not much of a disappointment when it comes to fighting.
In fact, if you were so pathetic that you died from this single attack, that would have been interesting in its own way. But right now, you're just incompetent at everything. you don't even die correctly.
I'm sorry, said Makuro. I'm sorry I suck at dying, really. I couldn't help blocking your attack. But there's no way I can fight you, Junko. After all, I'm all you have. I'm the only one who understands you at all. Makuro's words were riddled with endless dismay. The contrast between her usual stoic self and the way she was acting now was stark. People might assume she had multiple personalities. However, Monokuma just quietly stared at her. He was perfectly still, as if all his frustration had powered down completely. But Makuro continued to shake her feelings. Share her feelings. Well, same thing. There's no way I can just leave you alone. And then Monokuma broke his silence, but... At that moment, a monitor in the nurse's office lit up, displaying a girl's face, Junko Enoshima. Ooh. Face to face. Real confrontation. At the same time, a voice completely unlike Monokuma began to play from the speakers. Hey, Makuro! Junko! Been several days since Makuro had heard her sister's real voice. Though her face remained emotionless, excitement sparked in her eyes. However, that shine immediately dulled, because Junko was disappointed. Disappointed! I'm grateful to you, Makuro. I mean it. Junko's voice emanating from the speaker sounded very gentle and kind. Junko? I'm really sorry. I said so many mean things to you. I even tried to kill you earlier, and I was about to make you do something horrible just now. Even though I know about your feelings towards Makoto. You don't have to force yourself. Even if you didn't notice, it was totally obvious to anyone looking at you. You never cared about the class photos, but when Makoto said he was going to take one, you made sure you were facing the camera. Ah, this goes back to the pictures in the first game. And then Junko Enoshima, the ultimate despair, flashed a smile, a pure sweet smile. Fake smile. On the monitor, she looked like a normal high school girl teasing her older sister. But that's not all it is, because Junko is anything but normal. And yet, Makuro could feel despair and anxiety encasing themselves around her. I always thought you should have tried hard to take pictures with Makoto, but I guess that's what makes you disappointing. Still, even though you're disappointing and annoying, I still love you. Makuro trembled upon hearing those words. I love you. What, had Makuro never heard them before? That's all she ever wanted to hear her sister say. Oh, so she never heard Junko say that she loved her before, and now her saying it is almost like the opposite. Like saying, now that I love you, I want to kill you to feel despair, or something, right? Makuro believed. No matter what Junko said, she believed she really loved her. She believed she was the only one who could truly understand the despair known as Junko Enoshima. She was naive. What, so she's saying she didn't understand Junko for reals? It'd be hard to understand Junko for reals, though, so I get it. As soon as she heard Junko say, I love you, Makuro realized she never completely understood her sister. It was only at that moment that Makuro finally understood her sister's feelings. Junko's words right now were kind. Perhaps that kindness was completely honest. The words I love you might have been true as well. However, for Junko Enoshima, that was her way of saying goodbye. She was severing the ties between them. It was painfully clear to Makuro. And then, before she could even say anything, the girl in the monitor made a remark that cut Makuro to the bone. I'm sure someday you'll make your dreams come true. Ultimate despair is never... Oh, sorry, that wasn't anybody speaking. I was about to say, ugh, I gotta do that voice better, but okay. Ultimate despairs never talk to each other like this. A simple truth stabbed into Makuro's heart. Junko had no further use for her. Oh, I guess it's time to fight. Her own sister was parting ways with her. Makuro had dedicated over 10 years of her life to the cause of ultimate despair, and at this moment it all counted for nothing. But those years no longer mattered to Makuro. Her sister's rejection was more than enough to send her into the depths of despair. That's why Makuro, even now, clung to a small sliver of hope. Meanwhile, Junko was still on the monitor. Yeah, right. Do you really think I'd say something that nice? You're so annoying. Can you just hurry up and disappear already? Makuro hoped Junko would say something like that. Really? You hoped that? She hoped that she'd start verbally abusing her again, or call her useless and incompetent, because that's her way of saying she loves her. Makuro was no masochist, but she'd prefer to be showered with bullets and contempt than endure this kind of emotional pain. But I love you, Makuro. Bye-bye! The monitor went black, leaving Makuro to process the horrible goodbye she just received. And as if on cue, Monokuma started moving again. Isn't family love so nice? By the way, do you know that in about half of all murder cases, the killer is a family member? Monokuma spoke in his usual tone of voice, but it was unclear if his words were getting through to Makuro. Makuro let the blood pack in her hand fall to the floor and tightened her grip on the iron bar she was still holding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Junko, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. She mumbled quietly as if she were chanting a spell and walked past the blood pack on the floor to Makoto's bedside with the iron bar in her hands. I'll do it properly. I'll make sure I do it. So... Oh, said Monokuma, perking up. What, you're gonna actually want to kill him now? Don't do that. Don't give in to her. She probably wouldn't even allow it at this point. But, if I had to guess, that's what's gonna happen. She's gonna try to kill him, and Monokuma was like, don't bother. What are you gonna properly do to Makoto with that big thick rod you got there? Are you gonna do him? Or are you gonna do him in? Either way, I'm starting to feel some heart-throbbing excitement. Makuro looked like she had been completely broken. Monokuma walked closer to her with eager anticipation. Suddenly, Monokuma's body silently floated into the air. Huh? With no expression on his face, Monokuma tried to see what had just happened to him. What, was he cut in half with the pipe? And in the blink of an eye, an iron bar ripped through his body. The tip of the bar, which had been cut diagonally earlier in a sharp point, went straight through Monokuma and stabbed into a surveillance camera. The lens was completely destroyed, and the camera shot out spark as it broke down. The iron bar was still stabbed into the surveillance camera as Monokuma dangled from the other end. He opened his mouth as if to say something, but only static came out. A few seconds later, his functions came to a complete stop. Without making a sound at all, Makuro had kicked Monokuma into the air. As soon as Monokuma's power source and his bomb circuit had perfectly aligned with the surveillance camera in the nurse's office, Makuro plunged the iron bar into all three of them. Whoa! That's cool! Makuro's a badass. No normal human has skill to utilize such a technique. Not even an ultimate. All the hesitation within Makuro had vanished. Her eyes sparkled like a panther stalking its prey at night. A tense aura surrounded Makuro, even more so than when she fought Sakura earlier. Ignoring Monokuma's lifeless form, she looked at Makoto as he breathed softly and remembered her sister's parting words. So this is despair, she mumbled to herself. I'm so sorry, Junko. So what, for the first time ever you're feeling, despair? That's interesting. You know, being parted with by your sister makes you feel despair. That makes sense, but I don't know. I guess with how you've grown up, knowing your sister, getting close to her, even though she's fucked up, but still, she's fucked up. I never really understood what despair was. She spoke without emotion, like a machine. But it's gonna be alright now, I finally understand. Hidden within her, passion begins to stir. So, I'll make sure I make you happy, Junko. I'll make sure I fill you with despair. I'll save Makoto. I'll make sure the others don't die. I'll let them escape from this place. I'll deal with the people on the outside, too. You invested so much time and killed so many people for the sake of this plan, and I'll destroy every last remnant of it for you. This was not an act of vengeance toward the sister who had abandoned her. This was an act of mercy. Stuck between the ultimate despair and the ultimate hope she gained from Makoto, Makuro was being refined into something that was unlike despair or hope, and she had no way of knowing where her path would lead.